Good afternoon, Jim.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, you're on
Sure
mute.
can. We can hear you and see you, and I like your backdrop.
Okay, great. Somehow I got this backdrop up here. I don't know how I got it up there, but I think we're going to share some pictures. Great to see you all. Francis, good to see you.
Yeah.
And Judy, great to see you as well. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for joining us.
Well, we're having a little...
Are you down in Nashville?
No, I'm heading there. This afternoon. So I'm in Detroit right now. So I'm heading there tonight.
Okay, thank you, Jim. Apologies for this little technical challenge, but David is back on with us now. And my understanding, Jim, is you have slides to to show, and David is right there. So you give us the signal, Jim, and then we'll let David run the interview, and we'll follow your lead as far as the slides you would like us to share.
Okay, great. Thank you. I think somebody there has the slides. Hey, David, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you, Jim. How are you?
Good. Well, I'm actually at one of our garage locations here in the Detroit area, and behind me I've got actually our new Corvette Z06 GT3. But for some reason I've got this background on there. I don't know how to get it off, so we'll just keep rolling here. I do have a picture of it here, but great to see you, and thanks for having me on. This is kind of become a year-end tradition in the racing world, and thanks for having us.
It's absolutely our pleasure. Let's talk about very recent success. Chevrolet sweeping all three manufacturers' championships in NASCAR. There's certain branches of racing where the manufacturer's title is seen as some kind of consolation prize, but that's not the case in NASCAR, is it? I mean, you won half the races against some terribly fierce opposition in Cup. And more than half across the three series. How proud are you of that particular achievement?
Yeah, it's always a goal at the beginning of the season for a couple of objectives, and one is a manufacturer's championship in every series in which we compete, and then side by side with that is to really work with our teams and drivers to give them all the tools they need to win races and opportunity to win a championship. And so the last 2 years have been unique. We've won, half the races or more in the Cup, Xfinity, and Truck, and did not win the Drivers' Championship. I think you had Mark on here just a moment ago, and obviously they swept all three of the drivers. So racing is a passionate sport. It's one where it feels like you're never done. And so while we won the three manufacturers' championships, we're so proud of. Obviously, the goal is to win manufacturers and drivers, and so work ahead in the coming season, but super proud of everybody on the Cup side. The teams won 18 of 36 races, and Xfinity 17 of the 33 races they run, and Truck 14 of the 23. And so that's really a tribute to the work we're doing with all of our race teams. So proud of them all. And then we had, in all three of the series, when it came down to the Drivers' Championship, we had, anywhere from 1 to 2 drivers in every one of the three championship races. So
Right.
Didn't get it this year. The goal is to get it, in the future.
And of course, Mr. Stenhouse won the Daytona 500 as well. That's
right.
special trophy.
If I'm not sure if somebody there's got the slides, they could put up the NASCAR slide, but obviously that was a great way to start the season there with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Phenomenal end of the race, gets a Daytona 500 win, starts us off in a great fashion. It was just awesome. And then obviously throughout the season, other Chevy drivers, put up a total of 18 wins. William Byron had 6. That was kind of a leading number in the Cup Series in terms of wins for Chevy and across all the drivers, which was awesome. And Grant Enfinger down there in the bottom right, who made it to the finals. Put some wins on the board, and I think that's Allgaier on the top right with Xfinity wins, and Allgaier and others put 17 wins on the board. So exciting stuff, and to win the Daytona 500 is such a special thing. So happy for Ricky and JTG Dougherty.
Yeah, wonderful way to start the season. Of course, that wasn't the only huge iconic race you won this year. You also took the Indy 500 in another breathtaking finish that seems to have become something of a habit at the Speedway. and then Manufacturers Championship in this final year of the purely 2.2 litre twin turbo without hybrid era. And so that's now 8 titles that you won in this era. How special was that for you?
Yeah, it was special. And, Joseph, obviously all the IndyCar drivers, the goal obviously on the top of their list is to win the Indy 500. Joseph did it. It was an amazing race. Came right down to the end. You can see him, at the Yard of Bricks where he stopped the car, didn't drive it over to the, kind of the winners area and the platform. And he did that slide into the grandstands, which was iconic. I loved it. And, so that was awesome. And then obviously, for him, he won 4 of the ovals between Indy, 2 races at Iowa and Texas. And then with that, he has become the winningest Chevy driver kind of in this modern era since we came back into the series in 2012 with 29 wins. So with Chevy, all with Chevy. And so really proud of that. And then obviously the Manufacturers Championship was terrific as well. And that the way they calculate the points in the series. We came right down to the last race as usual, and the Chevy drivers and teams put enough points on the board to lock that championship up, and that was a nice way to end the season. In addition to the 500 win.
How difficult has it been to balance that with the testing of the hybrid unit? First you end up with the 2.4 litre one being shelved, and then you have to focus and actually cooperate with your chief rival to make the hybrid work for 2024. Has that been a difficult balancing act, just in terms of personnel?
Yeah, it's a great question, and it's one thing that the auto industry, whether you're talking about production vehicles or race cars and propulsion systems, it's what we do is we work on the current and what we're building and engineering for the showroom today. At the same time, we've got a group of people who are working on the future, and so it's also true in racing. So it does put a strain on the system, there's no doubt, and it's been kind of an industry-wide effort between our team, HPD, IndyCar, and some of the key suppliers. And so the testing has been going on, and obviously we're now at the point of understanding supply chain dynamics and so on. But yeah, it's a dynamic of working on today and tomorrow. At the same time, puts a stress in the system, but candidly in our industry, it's something that we do.
Right. God, you have such a massive portfolio in motorsport at the moment, but there's a lot to cover here. But V8 supercars, champion manufacturer, 1, 2, 3 in the championship.
Yep,
I don't want to gloss over that, but looking at jumping 2 years ahead, obviously the Camaro's going out of production next year. So what are GM's plans for the Supercars Championship in 2025? I'm not expecting a massive scoop here, but there are plans.
That's a good question. Well, first, before I get to that, super proud of the whole effort of all of the Chevrolet teams. AAA was a key partner in developing the Camaro for Camaro Z01 for Supercars. Debuted it we just got out to a really fast start, won 22 of the 28 races, so 79% of the races Chevy drivers and teams won the manufacturers championship. You can see the team, it's our team on the top right there, along with Shane Howard, who runs the series, presenting the manufacturers cup, if you will. And then obviously Brody Kostecki wins the championship in 1, 2, 3 with Chevy drivers. So it was a terrific year there, and so super proud of that. We got to keep momentum going next year. Obviously, you had Mark on there, and Ford picked up the pace, obviously, and near the end of the season and won a bunch of races. So we're it's going to be an amazing season ahead, and a lot of tight competition between us and Ford. In terms of what's going to happen in the future, obviously the Camaro does continue for another model year, and so that's our focus now. When we made the announcement that we will ramp the Camaro down, we did say that it's not the last chapter in the story of Camaro. So more to come, but for now we will be racing the Camaro here in this coming year, and then more to come.
Right. And in terms of, I mean, I always thought the Camaro was ideal for the Supercars Championship because, in my personal opinion, it's always been the best handling of the new breed of muscle cars. But do you see, do you see a electric future? How much? I suppose the easier question would be, how much influence do you feel that GM has with supercars in terms of the way the regulations are formulated for the future?
Yeah, I would say, and if you want to go ahead and pull that slide down now for just a moment here, and we can just talk here. Yeah, I would just say that on every series, including supercars, we meet with Shane Howard and the team there about kind of the current state of the series and what could be next. Obviously, work very closely with our key race team partners, including AAA and others. And so we work with them on all those things, like what could be next. So there's nothing to announce here, but we do stay in tight contact with all the series, including supercars. So we'll continue to work that. And in the meantime, I think the next season set up for amazing competition between the Camaro and the Mustang, kind of a classic competition. And we're gonna try to create some excitement. I have to say, we're going from Holden, which obviously had a long history in Australia, to the Camaro. Those are big moments, and you're trying to understand how the race fans are going to respond. And it's been since we debuted the car, which looks phenomenal. The race fans have been absolutely terrific, and so many of the Holden fans, came with us on the transition to the Camaro. And in Australia, New Zealand, we do have a group that does sell, especially vehicles from our entire GM portfolio in those two markets. And so the race series helps us keep the enthusiasm high for everything going on with GM there.
Right. Now, before we get on to discussions about Le Mans, obviously we must tackle IMSA because obviously, the GTP formula has just been like an adrenaline shot to the prototype class, and I know it wasn't seamless, but the way Cadillac moved from the DPI VR into the the GTP era, it looked like you were ready to take on all comers, not only your old rivals Acura, but also Porsche and BMW. The success of Cadillac in IMSA this year, is that something that you expected?
Well, obviously, Cadillac does have a history in racing, and we obviously were there, fully committed on DPI, setting up for what became GTP. And actually, why don't you go ahead and pull that slide down there? I don't know, Judy or somebody can just pull that down so Dave and I can talk for just a moment here. But I would just say that, hey, we, like everybody else, we prepared immensely and deeply, and obviously that's got a hybrid application, and so we did a lot of learning early on in that. The team really prepared well. You never know where you're going to be until you get to literally the first race. Even the Roar is a little tough. It's a little tough to tell at the Roar, to tell you the truth. So it's really got to get to qualifying at the Rolex 24 Hours of Daytona. And it was a great season. It was great to see the progress of the teams over our Cadillac teams over the course of the season, and obviously Action Express and the Whelen Cadillac B Series, our GTP entry came out with the Drivers' Championship, Team Championship, and Manufacturer. So it was fantastic, and so proud of the team. And it came down obviously to the last race as usual.
Yes.
And so it was great, and the competition was intense. Acura, Porsche, BMW, and they all kind of had their moments during the year. But I'm super proud of the 31 team and what they did and how they represented Cadillac so great, and also the Gaston team as well. It was a team effort, and you heard from Chip earlier, and I didn't catch his entire interview, but one thing we do across all of our series when we have multiple teams is you as a manufacturer, we can accelerate the learning cycles if we work together as one team. And that's what we did in NASCAR. It's what we've done in IndyCar. It's what we do obviously in the IMSA series. And so those two teams working together with Mark Stilo and Laura Klauser and the whole team, Dr. Eric Warren, they did a great job working together.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. Obviously, the work between Whelen Engineering and Ganassi. How hard is it to, they're both working for Cadillac, but they're also dead set rivals in themselves as a team. How is that just as tough as persuading Chevrolet power teams and IndyCar to kind of like remember who's in the back of their car?
Yeah, it's a great question, because really the teams and a lot of the crew chiefs and the engineers kind of grew up in a time frame where it was, they were rewarded for keeping information tight and getting results on the track, and they progressed. And what's happening now is, because over the last, I'll call it, I don't know, 5-6 years, maybe longer, the amount of testing that you get in these series is very minimal, minimal. So your ability and using every dollar of resource and human resource as well to the best effect requires us to work together. Otherwise, if we don't do it, somebody else does it, they'll get an edge on you. So it has been it's been a journey for sure, but I will tell you, in NASCAR, we worked probably more independently, years ago, and today our key partners, we work, between Hendrick Motorsports, Richards Racing, Trackhouse, and also linking in our other teams. We work really well together. It's not easy. It's never perfect, but we don't have a choice. We've got to have fast learning cycles, limited resource, limited testing. It really requires a collaboration. Now, once you get on the track, you gotta go run your race, and that's what they do.
Yeah. Moving across the Atlantic to Le Mans and the WEC in general. Before we get on to the Corvette, the Cadillac prototype there, do you feel satisfied that Cadillac has done everything they can to make the car competitive, and it's now just going to take a BOP adjustment to turn them from podium finishers into victory contenders?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say that first of all, the job of a race team and a manufacturer working together is never done, never ever. You can never rest a minute. You always have to be progressing. The competition is that intense, as you know well. I think that between the LMDH and the LMH, or I'll call it, the GTP and the hypercar, there are multiple meetings during the year around getting together and understanding the BOP piece of that. I think there's more work to be done. BOP seems like a never-ending kind of to-do list. There's a to-do list that continues to be there. I think there's more work that has to be done on both sides. We have to be better as a team and really find even more performance. A lot of the teams really did gain a lot of performance during the year, and then there's a broader kind of hypercar versus GTP BOP that continues to be refined. The good news is there is a forum in which all that gets talked about, and we're making progress. I'm not sure I would say we wouldn't declare that to do being done, more to do there, but super proud of what the Cadillac teams. It had been over 20 years since we had raced at Le Mans, and so with Cadillac, and so coming back and having 3 Cadillacs represented. You can see there between Action Express and the 2 Chip Ganassi Cadillacs. It was great to have 3 kind of in the race, and we were honored to have 3 invitations, and super proud of how we performed. And certainly the goal is to hit to the top of the podium. Didn't get there, got on the podium after 20 years of not being there. That was a debut that we were super proud of, but always hungry for more. And you can see in the bottom right there is Mike O'Gara and the Cadillac team, basically, taking a moment to celebrate first year back for Cadillac after almost 2 decades, and really, outrunning a lot of tough competition, but we got 2 more steps to go on the podium. So work continues there. And then obviously, Corvette has a long history at Le Mans in the GTE class. Obviously, they run now the GTE AM class. If you can just go back one there, and super proud of the 33 Corvette C8R, the last year for the C8R. And Ben Keating and his co-drivers had an unbelievable, challenging start, got a couple laps down, worked for 23 more hours, 22 more hours, and climbed back to the top. Won their class, went to the top of the podium. It was just an amazing moment, and the 9th time that Corvette's won in its class. So a lot of experience at Le Mans. It's one of those races. It's binary. It's either you win or you don't. Everything, you want to get to the top step. That's the one that feels the best, and super proud of the team.
And amazing redemption after what happened to Corvette at Le Mans.
Oh yeah, don't remind me,
year.
David. Don't remind me of the previous year.
That was too cruel.
That was such a tough moment. I can remember like it was like yesterday.
Yeah.
And just watching, we had such good speed a year ago, and got to get taken out the way it happened. And I don't think it was you always wonder, is it intentional or not? I deemed it not intentional. It was a mistake. And so that's part of racing. And we've been on the other side of it where we've made, we've had a mistake or what have you, and had an issue. And so anyways, that's racing, and it just motivates you more for the next year.
And obviously, the Corvette's performance in general on both sides of the pond is a tremendous advertisement for what we hope we're going to see from the GT3R model in 2024. I understand AWA have already taken delivery of their new car.
Yeah, and Judy or whoever's got just kind of go forward one here for me, or a couple. I think it's, if you go back, and I've got one. I'm standing like 5 feet from one here. I wish I could show it to you, but I'm having an issue with the computer here. Right. If you keep going deeper into the file there for me, that'd be great. One more. Right there. There it goes. Yeah, there's the AWA team. They came up to Michigan, Pontiac, Michigan. This is at our propulsion and powertrain racing center that Russell Blanis leads, from our team. And I think you see Laura Clauser's there, and Todd Christensen, and Christy Bagney, and that's the AWA team taking delivery of their GT3 Corvette. I got Andrew, who's the owner of the team, and then Anthony and Ori are the drivers of each of the cars, and they'll obviously team up with a couple more drivers and make their debut. They'll run in the GTD AM class here in North America in IMSA. And then Pratt Miller, as you know, will be factory supported, and they'll run 2 cars in the GTD Pro. So it's going to be great to be debuting the GT3, end of the C8R era, and now we're on the Z06 GT3R era. It's going to be great.
I mean, I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but how frustrating is it that you come up with this tremendous C8R and it gets pensioned off after just a couple of seasons, when it didn't get the chance to kind of like replicate all the amazing performances from the C7, C6, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Well, I was fortunate, along with many other people, including our partners at Pratt Miller and inside the company, many people who were there in 1999. We made our debut at the Rolex 24 Hours of Daytona with the C5R. It was a big moment. We didn't know if the program was going to go 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Our hope was it was going to go 3 or more. And here we are, over 20 years later, still rolling with Corvette Racing. Amazing track record with the car, and so many wins, over 127 victories worldwide with that whole platform. And so, the C8R, I wish we'd had a little more time with it, but there's been discussion around kind of a GT convergence for years and years, and it never happened. Nobody could ever get it organized, and it finally did happen. And so I think that we obviously, when that decision was made, our focus was to get a GT3 going, and that's what we did here. And so we're going to get after it here in the coming seasons. We'll be able to race this car obviously in the series around the world, but we'll start here in North America, and it's going to be exciting.
Obviously, the Garage 56 project was I mean, I just found it absolutely fascinating that you would wish to do this, and secondly, I was also massively impressed at how the car ran, and at the amount of support it seemed to get from the fans. Like, it became a really hot topic of conversation. What did you take from that? What looked like you were doing it you know, it might be interpreted that you're doing it for fun, but obviously that's not how racing goes. So what did you take from it commercially?
Yeah, well, first of all, I mean, as we mentioned a moment ago, Chevy's had, particularly Chevrolet's had a, you know, long, deep, decades-long experience racing at Le Mans. It is such a special race. If you win Le Mans, it's like the gold standard. It's like, you know, that gives the, you know, the sports car you have, you know, amazing credentials. So
Yeah,
we love the race for that. And obviously the Rolex 24 Hours of Daytona, 12 Hours of Sebring, Road America, Watkins Glen, they have their own special place as well in sports car racing. But to be able to collaborate with, you know, Jim France had kind of the vision. What if we did this? And as you recall, in the 70s, Jim's father did it with 2 or 3 cars. The cars didn't actually go that long. They didn't race that long in the 24-hour race. And so we said, working with Jim and John Doonan and obviously, you know, Rick Hendrick was in, and Chad Knaus, and Jeff Gordon, along with all the folks from Goodyear and everybody at NASCAR, along with Chevrolet. We decided if we're going to do it, we've got to do it right. And we used our experience at Le Mans combined with just obviously tremendous talents from the Hendrick organization, and John Doonan, you know, is like our project leader and did a great job. And everyone in Goodyear, we all came together and we really prepared the car properly. We tested it deeply in simulation, and then obviously I did a lot of on-track testing. Jim was eager to have drivers from all different series, all different parts of the world. He assembled an amazing driver lineup, and the car ran great. It ran in the GT3 categories of time. It really did. Lap times. It was fabulous. And so there was learnings that we actually shared with the other 2 manufacturers. Every test, the other manufacturers were enabled to come to the race. So they got all the data and the information and results from the testing. And there's things that we obviously all learned about, you know, things that can be done with this car potentially in the future. We'll see where it goes. But super proud of the team. They finished the race. They won the pit stop competition using traditional manual jacks. It was just a great thing. And there wasn't an article that was written or a TV story that was broadcast about the race that didn't include a sub story about this car. Super proud of it.
exactly. Absolutely. No, it was great fun. Obviously, when we speak about partnerships with Hendrick, we turn our attentions to what's going to happen next year with the Kyle Larson competing at the Indy 500 and the Charlotte 600. And he's already tested for you know, at the Speedway. Again, this is more than just a commercial opportunity. This is something that could have major repercussions, and that he feasibly, it's Kyle Larson, goddammit, he could actually win both events, right?
This is going to be an exciting time to see a double. It's been a little while. Last time was Kurt Busch, and Kurt ran with Andretti and Honda, and then he flew to Charlotte and ran with Chevy in the NASCAR race. So that was the last time it happened. Obviously, you think about the people who've done it, Robbie Gordon, Tony, others. But it happens so rarely now, based on schedules and all that. Really exciting. And what we know about Kyle is he can race. He loves to race anything and everything. And so for this moment to happen, and for Rick and the folks at you know, McLaren to pull together, Zach Brown, Gavin and the team, it's going to be super exciting. And it was fun to watch him get in and do this first test. And I think he got up into I can't remember what the final speeds were, but let's say it was in the high 200, 218s, 219s. Can't remember if he pushed over 220 or not. Maybe it was low 220s. But he really got a chance to get an initial feel of the car. And so he passed the rookie test. I think he's energized for it to the positive. So is Rick. So is Zach. So are we. So it's going to be a great way to show kind of the talents of a driver to switch series like that. And you know, Kurt, when he ran, he ran really well. He ran super well. And it can be done. And listen, it's hard to do, right? Winning the 500 for even the full timers is hard. So is it possible? Yes. It takes a special talent. I think Kyle certainly has the talent to drive just about any race car. So there's obviously a lot more learning to do, but very excited about it. Those are cool pictures too.
Yes.
I hate to interrupt because we need to keep everything on schedule. There is two other topics. We want to cover quickly with Jim. Is
Absolutely.
NHRA not ready? So
Yeah.
you want to go,
And,
David, quickly?
Yeah, absolutely. How important to you is the NHRA? Obviously, we have Erica Enders, who I think should be every aspiring young female race car driver's hero. But also you won the Manufacturers Cup in NHRA this year.
Yeah, it was a great year. Another seventh year in a row for Manufacturers Championship, and then to see Erica win her sixth championship in Pro Stock's incredible. And I remember in 2012, I was sitting in a meeting on a Monday. We're going through all the race results, and somebody said a woman named Erica Enders won the Pro Stock race. First female to ever do it. I'm like, okay, that's history right there.
Yeah,
we brought her to SEMA in 2012, the Chevy exhibit. We had a big media event. We honored her, and here she is. 46, 47 race wins later, 6 championships. So she's amazing. And then Aaron Stansfield in the factory stock showdown championship on the bottom right, and then obviously you got the John Force Racing team. I think that's Robert Height's vehicle in the top right there. And so super proud to partner there. Obviously, our role in NHRA ebbs and flows over the years. We'll still be, you'll see Chevrolets and Camaros running for a long time there in the series, and looking forward to next year.
Formula
And
One.
let's wrap it with Formula One. Oops.
Yes. Yeah. Cadillac, if it wasn't recognized as a huge potentially global brand before, this is going to, I assume that the partnership with Andretti is tied in with Cadillac becoming a heavy hitter in European markets once more. Is this correct, Jim?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, Cadillac is re-entering many global markets, and so when you look at what are the global platforms to kind of get the word out, there's things like Olympics, music, soccer, Formula One. Okay, those are the ones you typically look at, and so the time we've looked at Formula One off and on over the years, the timing is never right. When the FIA opened up the expression of interest, we submitted with Andretti a joint submission. Super proud that the FIA, after looking at 5 or 6 other applicants, did give us support to go on to the next step in this journey to get into F1. So it's exciting. We also then announced here a couple weeks ago that Cadillac has registered, and General Motors rather has registered as a power unit manufacturer for 2028 would be our intention, and so it's very exciting. A lot of steps to go yet. We still have some evaluations that the FOM is doing right now. We'll see what happens, but it's super exciting to consider the possibilities of F1, and had a chance to go to both Miami and Las Vegas, and very exciting. And obviously the global popularity and in North America continues to rise very swiftly. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Judy. Great to see you.
Good to see you. You have a lot going on.
Registering on EPARTRADE is easy. To start, click on the Join for Free button on the homepage. First, search your company to see if it's already in our database. If you see your company on the list, click on it to select it. Then, choose Claim Company if you are one of the decision makers, an owner, marketing person, or main company contact. Or choose Join Company if you are an employee, and press Continue. If you couldn't find your company in our database, select Register a New Company. On the following page, fill out your name, email, phone number, job title, and choose a secure password. If you chose Register a New Company, you'll need to choose your business type. Select Supplier if you're looking to display products or services and connect with buyers. Choose Racing Business if you're looking to source new parts and connect with suppliers. Choose Race Team if you own or are a member of a professional race team. Then, enter your company name. Please provide a website, Facebook page, or LinkedIn if you have one, and choose to either claim or join the company. You can view and agree to our terms of use here. If you'd like to receive our weekly newsletter, choose Accept. Finally, click Register Now and your registration will be submitted for approval. An email will be sent to your inbox. Please confirm your email address and you will be approved shortly. Welcome to EPARTRADE.